Welcome to Onivia, League of Legends highlights. These are the best highlights from today's LPL matchup.
Light and Crisp, level 2, they're trimming the wave slightly, but they have 0 damage on Elk and On. This is going to be disastrous.
This could get very tricky. I don't think Light has got a satchel yet either, so he's in a dangerous position. Actually has got it now, takes so much damage. Immediately burns down On, traded back, so it's a 1-for-1. Crisp still under the turret, is mounted up, could crash down whoever takes the aggro. Goes down as
Wait, they could dive again! They could dive again!
And the teleport so late is straight into a grasping roots! Light flashes now, but they must try and get something more. Brand has killed Gnar on the other side of the rift. It's a 2-for-2 game right now. A satchel charge back forces the flash out from Way, but it's not enough. Will not take another turret shot. And 3 kills in the bot lane because Light teleports back in to immediately die, and that wave is still lost.
I didn't know you could have the direst treatment as a Ziggs bot lane. He teleports in to immediately die, so it is 3 deaths in the bot lane for Weibo. BLG, this was the game plan. Tarzan was pathing towards topside. Was it worth it, Tarzan? Was it worth it to leave your bot lane out to drive with the most obvious dive comp in the history of the dives in that early game coming through? He's going to go towards topside again, trying to snowball top lane in response to bot lane.
Look to try and respond on that one. They need to get the stun. Bin still has that teleport, that flash rather. On splashed on up as well. Look for the handshake in the loyalty program. Tarzan taken low with the ignite. Bin nearly at Mega Gnar. It's a disaster in 2 parts. Bot lane was episode 1. Welcome to episode 2. Attack at the top lane.
Weibo will need to see if they can get themselves on a revenge of the mid at this point, if they could try and get something in the last lane to be featured in this saga. BLG, this early game has been everything they wanted. They have the tools to roam across the map. Now they have won bot lane so hard. On can go wherever he wants. Breathe, left alone in topside. He got gifted that gank early, and he is now left to the wolves. No flash, Way here.
Try and clear out the way best he can. Will get nothing done. Bin gets that one, and suddenly you got 2 kills on the Gnar. 2 kills on the Kalista and an early game.
Might just be the best team in the world consistently pulling off bot lane level 3 dives, specifically that part of the game. Like they have faulted in other areas of the game since, but I think BLG, when they have been one of the best teams.
Don't get me wrong, I see what was attempted to be happening when Light teleport back in, because Chris still had the flash, still had the crash down, could have looked to catch onto the turret, but Light.
I think.
Oh man.
This is genuinely the point. Start your timers, folks. How quickly do you think this game will end? How quickly do you think this game will end? I think we could be on for a game which could be under 20 minutes being finished here from BLG. They have themselves that early pressure on the bot side. Tarzan's going to take away the grubs, which means that the time's going to take a bit longer. But how the hell do you play this game with the Ziggs who's 1 point
being down 20 CS? I just misread it on the glare on my screen. Shit. I was like, that feels like a big discrepancy for both of them at 80. I was like, no, that's a 6, Sam. Can't read.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, it's still even in gold. At least Tarzan gets something. That might be the saving grace of Weibo. We're talking about how still lane dominant this Kalista and Arda being and how they can work through it. Tarzan is the hope. Bin has flash. It's going to be a full combo.
Gets a big chunk there onto Bin, who's being burned down. Tarzan wants to get the pyroclasm and some burns coming on down. Bin gets towards Mega Gnar and knows he's dead, so we'll leave the wave to die and get on out of here as Light finally at level 6 starts to sit in the middle of his 2 towers to try and throw an ult out like this.
Yeah, he has to use his ult to wave clear. This is already disastrous. The thing, BLG not being able to take through all of these plates slash Tarzan things on this champion and turn things around. But, you know, that's an ult used for Light. You don't have an ult every wave. 10 minutes. Solo tower taken by Elk, and he's going to start roaming across the map. This is a huge bloody issue. What do you do now? He's going. You have changed the demon for 10 minutes only. Jungle coverage. I think Tarzan made the mistake with that early pathing. I've normally praised Tarzan's early pathing. Crisp is over the wall now. Maybe can get himself a flank, but Elk is so strong. You should not be going for this. This is. I think Elk can potentially just team fight this himself.
Oh, they missed the juggle to win because he was satcheled out of the shattering strike. Bad combo from him and Crisp there to make that one happen. Elk just pops around. The plants are still there. Fate sealed over the wall. Xiao, who's slowed but not dead for now. And BLG just get everything.
Elk uses the Kalista ultimate to bring the Renata out of the picture so you can't get the brand bounce. That was insane by Elk, using the Kalista ult to make sure that the brand couldn't get that. Died at 10 minutes, rest in peace. Bin's going to take this turret in topside. They have their 3 grubs now, which is going to help them with the DOT on towers. They're going to be able to hit that very, very commonly. And now, onto the Herald. I mean, Weibo, what can you do? You don't have flash on Crisp. He does have his ultimate. Got some decent damage from Tarzan, but he has his flash. His ult's coming up in 5. That might be a slim opportunity. This brand ult, the brand play is the only thing which can save Weibo in this situation.
Yeah, he will need to do some miraculous stuff. We saw Milky Way pull off a few brand games from Long way behind. I note 12,000 gold lead for NIP on a Yasuo Dianacop that started to fall behind.
It did happen twice, didn't it? Versus NIP and then versus LG as well. Bin has Mega, not going to be stunned up just yet, and because that stun doesn't come through, Tarzan has patched up tier for very little. That means that he's been pulled out of position, and Elk can get himself an extended trade onto Xiaohu, potentially in the mid lane as well. Bin still Mega, Crisp on top side, on roaming about, and once again, we find Weibo not being able to land any sort of counterpunch.
Nope, not this time around. Xiaohu gets a chunk onto Elk, but then the slow afterwards with the Blade of the Ruin King. Xiaohu back to about half HP himself, and then Elk presses E.
He didn't even rend, and that was the trade coming through. He is so fed. Light is going to try and wave clear again. He has the ultimate. He'll be able to clear through one wave. I was going to be able to cancel the recall as Xiaohu spots that skull shot from the ward in the brush. There's a minefield on the turret. He might be able to just ult through this, but even just getting an auto attack on tower means that it would have died likely to the DOT. The backdoor bonus would have been taken off. So Light chooses to save the ultimate. So that's going to go down. Top lane turret's going to go down. BLG, they have just broken the entire outer ring of towers. This was where BLG in spring, this was like the killer blow. If you lost your outer ring of turrets before they did, effectively the game was over. They are so good at getting to the play at the right kind of timing. Typically that was when Knight was on the Talia or the Ahri or something like that, but just in their instincts of finding players across the map, it is a big old problem. And suddenly, what, 7,500 watching why Baron buff was changed to the way that it is. Because in Season 4, Ziggs wave cleared games, it was Ziggs and Onivia's era that would wave clear for so long that you could just never stall out. On his caught out, he's not within the Callisto range.
Goes down, gets a hostile takeover for a moment, but he's dead, and that's important to get something here. But they burned a couple key things for that. The flash on Crisp is notable. Knight Valkyrie away. Xiaohu with the increasing move speed from the Soul and Bound can maybe look to get some damage down on in here. The Shattering Strike comes on through. They get that turnaround though. The Pyroclasm Mafia will still be a lot of damage. They will lose Crisp, but they get Knight. It's a 2-for-1 overall.
Wave's coming up, Elk's coming up, and now the Callista's here. You can't fight with the Callista here. That is a big problem. BLG have been slow on the roam. Teleport's coming up. BLG, this has been a little bit lazy from them. You should be fighting around your Callista more. They have managed to corral him in. There's another teleport, and now they're outnumbered.
Satchel back onto Wave, puts him in a dangerous position. The Spirit Cleaves gets way low, but not down. My god, the damage. In comes that Zonyus to buy some time and space, but will surely fall. Plants get one back, though. Way bailed out, will not get put back to life, but the Plants get the work anyway. In the picture-in-picture, look at the Gnar. He's on an inhibitor turret.
And Elk comes to play. Finally turns up, and BLG slaughtered through the top side. It was a little bit sloppy at the start, on dying easily outside of that Callisto ult range, and BLG not quite able to bring the numbers to the play, but Bin, as you said, has been completely happy to go towards this bot lane turret. Inhibitor turret broken at 18 minutes. I don't think we're on track for the fastest game of LPL this year, but it's still going to be damn fast all the same. Knight's on the bottom side, they should know about that. Bin's going to walk towards the solo later, which means that Xiaohu can't really look for the angle he wanted. He's still not a known quantity here, though, by BLG. Should still be enough.
Yeah, and Crisp will walk into his own jungle. There's Soul Point available for BLG to come and claim. We'll get to that one. They are so far ahead of BLG. What is that? 9,000, nearly 10,000 gold. It's
So it's
quite a lot.
It's a bit much. Elk now has 2 items, which is more. Almost at that 3, almost at that. I guess it'll be a Bloodthirster, I guess, with the BF sword down.
Imagine.
Could potentially be that going through, which means that he's going to be so hard to kill. Weibo, I think that they've gotten a little bit more out of this mid game than I thought they had in your right getting. I think BLG was slow on the roam. I think they were a little bit slow towards that top side. So one moment of sloppiness there from BLG. It's not been a perfect game, but still, make no mistake, they are very much in the driving seat. And wherever Elk is on the map, you expect that to be a huge victory. Elk, in fact, of course, now sticking around, waiting for that cholesterol to come back. Ultimate allows not to be. I will say, I don't think I like the way that BLG have been playing around the Callista in the mid-game. Has kind of waltzed their way into plays rather than in the center of it. Now the Baron has been started. Elk will come over to this as well. Weibo forced to respond, but what response do they have? Bin is taking an inhibitor. The Baron's going down. If they don't get there in time, Bin will take the inhibitor, and then he'll also have Baron up minions.
He's at Mega. He could look to come on in here. There's the Baron going down before a contest can come in. They're trying to reset the back of the pit. Flash on out from the Ziggs ultimate, the Mega Inferno.
They're teleporting to end!
And On is here with Xiaohu one-shot, trying to one-shot it, but yeah, they're teleporting in. What is happening? On goes down, but the rest of the base is in danger. They hold on, but a Nexus turret falls, and BLG, Bin does that takes the inhibitor. They got to roll through mid lane, and they did that a 4v5, by the by.
Bin's just teleported towards top side as well to keep the pressure going. Yone hasn't managed to get himself a recall, so Xiaohu has been caught well out of sorts. I don't really think this game's been his fault. He's kind of been, oh no, he's not going to be able to get cancelled, luckily, but that's a teleport gone, and BLG, yeah, you blow a lot of flashes, that's something, but, you know, to try and chase down the Renata like this is just not what you wanted, and now, of course, Xiaohu doesn't have his summoners and his ults, and he goes down.
Just gets that kill, but now he died somewhere off screen despite teleporting back. Don't quite know what happened there in the picture-in-picture, but is dead again somehow, some way. Now they're down that additional member as the base is already partly broken. Some remaining turrets for the side of Weibo Gaming, but it has been a disastrous game, all things said and done. Oh, my days.
Now we even get some rock thrown in by Bin as well. It's another turret down. BLG, they're going to back off to get themselves Ocean Souls. It's not going to be the end of the game with this Baron buff, but they've already broken the base, so it's not like they can't threaten a game-ending fight at some point too. I would hate to see this game go to another Baron. Come on, I mean, in some ways, this game now is about me judging how well BLG have played with the lead. Because this game, as soon as they snowballed that bot lane, as soon as Light was out of the game, this game was a foregone conclusion, unless Brand does silly things at some point. The top lane play, the trade of the early game pressure and the early game jungle pathing, it did not work out for Weibo, and I think criticism has to be leveled at both Tarzan and the rest of the team for making that decision, regardless of, we don't know, of course, who makes that call, but that's been a mistake. But BLG, when it came through to beyond getting that early game lead, I will say they haven't been great at forcing plays with the Kalista. I feel like there are times where they could have flashed forward and looked for the game-ending play. Where's now on the flank, he maybe has gone too far. What is he doing here? He's the Zhonya's. He bought it for a reason.
Here comes on and out. They might have gotten away with it. What he's doing is buying a lot of space. Xiaohu gets an ultimate, but just no damage. The shield's too much. Has got a bailout and stays alive, and an Ocean Soul on top of it all. They went looking, and all they find is death and destruction.
And this is what they can do with this kind of lead. Bin doesn't have Mega, has Flash. Light's going to try and pop that ult. He does, but it's only going to get the Sterix for now. Breathe might even just die here.
Tried to get the kill, could not make it happen. Bin flashes on out from other damage, and with Ocean Soul on top of it all, and the rest of BLG shoving on for this tier 3 in top lane, this game is looking very lights out. There's not much more that Weibo can do. It's been that way since about minute 2.
BLG, it has been a stomp. The fact that we are judging them based on the strength of their stomp once they got that lead, and not the fact that it has been one in the first place, tells you volumes about this game. BLG, this is the way that they played when they were the best team in the LPL and one of the very best in the world. This is the style which got them largely to MSI finals. This is how they got there. And yes, they did end up losing.
Behind, they're going for last cast. They want to catch out Knight.
Yeah, they do. He has Flash. There's a teleport for him. There's a teleport for Bin as well if he wants to teleport in. Breathe, you're 2 levels down on Corki. That's a big one. That's going to be a bit of a pain in itself. He must have Flash out of the stun. Doesn't manage to. Knight will go down. Misplays there.
Does he? There's a teleport from Bin, and they do finally kill Knight, but what happens to the rest of the base? They've lost the Renekton. It's a 1-for-1, all things said and done, and all the while the super minions absolutely steamrolling through what remains of Weibo's base. They've got one final gas. Xiaohu looks for a fate sealed, but unfortunately the only thing that's been sealed is Weibo's defeat. Game 1 made us hope. Game 2 crushed it, and Game 3 has blown it to smithereens. BLG are still the team to beat.
BLG.
These were the best highlights from today's LPL matchup. Click that subscribe button faster than Ramus can say okay. See you on the next one.